You can now transfer passive abilities. What? Through passive attribution, you can slot the passive abilities of one key page into another. You can check the list of key pages that possess the passive abilities of other key pages from attribution, known as enhanced pages, and see a list of key pages that are currently attributed to others. Simply click on the list of passive abilities to open the passive attribution pop-up menu. I was right! I don't even remember if I included that in one of the videos, and maybe I got rid of it and cut it out because maybe I thought it was too stupid. But I specifically said, you know how overpowered some of these books could be if I can mix and match some of these passive abilities with a really fast card? And it's true! You can! That just seems busted. Oh no, you know what that means, don't you? There's that exponential difficulty curve I was waiting for. That means things are gonna get really hard. They're suddenly stepping it up big time. Let me try this a second. I figured out what the numbers mean now. So a speed is 4. So extra dice is it really is that powerful. Oh crap, I was hoping margin would be cheaper. Because I really want to draw more pages. Because an empty hand keeps just killing me. Not that we're really struggling right now, but I know in the future, when I have extra dice slots, it's really going to be a pain to run out of cards. Edit key page. Let me edit this one. And it looks like any key page that is currently being used, I can't actually use it, huh? So I guess some of these who have really crappy pages but really good passive stats, like the Art of Defense, are going to be really helpful. So I should be grinding up some of these pages for sure. Okay, now there is way more strategy to this than there was before. And I barely understood what I was doing before. I'm going to have to take a second and like sit with this and figure this out. So give me a minute. Because look, we've got a total of 7 already on this card. And it doesn't count for anything as far as cost-wise. So you definitely always want to be using the cards that have the really high cost passive abilities on it. And then you just give it the other ones that you kind of want. Like any blue ones, you just stack on this thing. They cost 1, and they're really awesome. At the start of each scene, restore 1 light at a 25% chance. That's really good. Then that's why Zulu's page is so important. Oh no, this is bad. Because I want to use Rain's page, but then if I use Rain's page for a passive, does that mean I can't use it also as an active one? Like an active key page? So let's take Lulu's page, because I definitely want this on Olga. A 50% burn is just insane. Attributed key pages? So Lulu's page. So then it disappears. So I can't use that again. Wait. Cost 0 of 6. Oh, I'm not spending it yet because I haven't attributed it yet. Oh, so maybe it just stops me from stacking more passive onto it than just the one, unless I have multiple pages of it. I can stack multiple Zulu pages, though, if I have multiple Zulu pages, though. Right? So this would be 1 light 25% of the time twice. So I actually would have, what, a 12.5% chance of getting 2 lights then? And a 25% chance of getting 1 light? Or 37.5 or something like... In other words, there'd be a better chance of getting at least 1 light by stacking this up. But maybe I want to go the 3 route in times like these, because if I have 3 or fewer pages in hand, at the end of the scene I gain 1 strength. 1 strength is good. So now... this is insanely strong. Like, this is stupidly strong. Okay, now if I go down here, is Lulu's page gone? Already in another key page. So technically, I cannot use this then, right? Set as favorite, revert attribute, so that I unbind this so that I can use it. Because right now it's assigned. So I was right. If it's passively being used, then it cannot be actively used. And if it's actively being used, it cannot be passively used. And then there's also, you can only have 4 attribution key pages. Yeah, it looks like every card has 4. Now, there may be cards with more, I don't know, but every single one of them has the option of 4 pages that can be added to it. And then it looks like there's 6, a total of a 6 cost that can be used to slot each one of those. Now I'm sort of understanding it. So let me try this again. Let me edit this one. Okay, I've changed all of their cards because I actually was thinking about something. I went ahead and gave Roland Rain's page to improve their strength when it gets late game. And then I gave them Yoon's page times 3, so their evade dice have a super high chance of just getting super strong. So I'm going to give them a ton of evade now. I'm going to turn them into the tank that I want them to be. I also gave Finn all of the attack dice that I could find because they're going to be moving quick, and I'm going to give them the Pale Hands, I think is what it's called, where they do extra damage depending on if their attacks go through. And then Dia is going to be my Clash Queen. So anytime that they do a clash and win, they're going to get HP. So I'm going to be clashing hard with Dia too. So I think that's going to be pretty good. Now, the other thing I could do, there is someone, and I forget who it is, but they specialize in defense. Is it Airy? Yeah, the Art of Defense. Boost the max value of defensive dice by +3 at a 25% chance. Now, I actually want to save that one for... I think I want to save that one for Hod. And the reason for that, if I go back to the library, they get... Oh, it's not Hod. Is it Malkuth? It's Malkuth. So I can give them Ashes, and when hit, inflict 1 to 3 burn to the attacker and gain a buff. So if I give them Ashes and I stack their defense, they're more likely to not get hit. But when they do a crazy amount of burn damage. Regardless, though, things have just gotten way more difficult because there are now a ton of strategies that I can use. It also seems that our story has now branched off 4 different directions. And people were saying that their favorite was the W Corp branch. So apparently this is all about the W Corp, all the warp stuff, all the train stuff. Who are you? Also, why is Doc Ock here? And that one dude from The Watchmen. I'm sorry, but it feels like there is a better arrangement for all of these optical sensors as well as the TV screens on this one's face.
녀석들한테 관측장치 붙여둔 건 확실하지?
The observation device? Oh, I see what happened. So the Molar office was used by the rabbits. So since they knew Rabbit Lady, I think Rabbit Lady, I'm going to call her RL for Rabbit Lady, even though Mio is a very short name. But RL, I think, also contracted the gaze operator to hand them observation devices. I think this is all a ploy in order to observe the library and gain information. Now, whether or not this works, don't know. But let's see. Either way, though, there is some sort of a connection between these and Olga.
번호, 관측 상황은 어때?
달로기도 도와주고 있지만 영 쉽지 않아.
이번 일로 실마리라도 잡히면 좋겠는데.
이제 와서 다시 물어본 거지만 이건 확실하지?
몇 번이나 말해. 추적 못하는 경로로 이어간 바로 받을 수 있다고.
지팡이 사무소가 제시한 거래니까 믿어도 될 거야.
Offered by the Kane office? Okay, and this is before we were upgraded to Urban Plague even. So all of this interest was happening even before we dealt with Olga and them.
철석같이 믿고 있네. 돈을 받는다고 하더라도 특이점에 대한 비밀을 어설프게 건드리다가 꼬리 밟히면 보험 혜택이고 뭐고 얄짤없이 인생 끝이야.
So maybe they're not interested in the library? Maybe they didn't know, because this is from a different organization altogether then.
더블사 뒤에는 알사가 있으니 그렇게 겁내는 게 이해는 가. 그렇다고 여기서 그만둘 거야?
그만두지 못하니까 이 꼴이지.
워프 열차 5분 후면 출발해.
Why did they have to put it on the Molar team, though? If they were just investigating the trains, why couldn't they attach it to the train somehow? And it seems like it's outlawed to try to find information about these singularities without going through the proper channels, which makes sense because it would be protected by all these different corporations. They don't want people infringing on their copyright for the thing that they make all their money on. So, but I feel like there's easier ways to do this. This seems so strange to me.
아무리 생각해도 내키지 않는다니까. 어금니 녀석들에게 부착해둔 요상한 관측 장치로 인과를 파악할 수 있다는 게 말이 돼?
지팡이 사무소에서 직접 준 장치잖아. 도시에서 정말 몇 없는 귀한 장치라며.
So maybe this group doesn't even know the whole story. Obviously, the Kane office gave them this observation device. I'm thinking in order to separate themselves, I think R-Corp gave the observation device to the Kane office to give to the Gazers to put on the Moeller team in order to use the warp train. And this is all one big scheme because the W Corp, in order to force the Moeller office into the library to take that invitation that R Corp gave them. I think W Corp purposely derailed this train and just held on to it and didn't go and find this train or bring it back until the Moeller team was gone. So maybe they went and rescued this train then, because it would be really detrimental to W Corp to just have people gone. Although bad things happen all the time, so who knows? Maybe they just left them out there. But I think it would really look good for the warp team to be able to go and recover a train that was lost for 30 hours. Be like, look, all of the things that used to be troublesome, like the train's getting derailed, we can fix it now. We can go and grab this train and bring it back. When in reality, they didn't derail it, they just stopped it. So they could really make it look good, plus force the Moeller office to do what they want, and have an observation device in order to gain information. That is one heck of an awesome strategy if they went that route. And then all you have are these loose ends that are just barely connected to one another going back to you because you're going through different like middlemen.
그리고 그 성능은 우리가 직접 검증해봤고
도시에 별천지 같은 기술이 많다고 해도 이렇게 소편한 기술이 있을 리가 없을 텐데.
자, 출발했어.
좋아. 이제 10초만 기다리면 된다.
9, 8. 아직은 인과 어쩌고 기록 장치가 무사히 작동하고 있어.
Causality. For some reason I thought that said casualty. That's very specific.
오. 뭐야? 잠깐, 이거 이상하잖아.
Oh, that must have been when the train stopped, huh?
실종됐어. 관측 불가 상태야.
So they can't observe them anymore? Probably because it moved outside of... I'm assuming this works by traveling in either the fourth dimension or some other dimension outside of our plane of existence. We could talk about what that would even mean. You know, there's the idea that the fourth dimension is time, and then there's the idea that the fourth dimension is another direction, and that time exists as a separate dimension on like a higher scale. But regardless of what you believe in or what theory that you support, if it is time, the moment that the observation stops, it would show back up in the library because they would pop out of existence and then back into existence at the exact same time. If time is frozen for them, let's say.
워프 열차를 탄 상태였는데 사라졌다고? 아직 도착하기도 전인데.
Wait, no, that actually makes sense then, why they would be missing from inside of the warp train. Because that is the moment when time stopped. So they do disappear from that train, if that's what they're saying. So even though it felt like 30 hours for them, they just pop out of existence. Because in that moment, that's when they are transported into the library.
장치에 문제가 있는 게 틀림없어. 역시 그렇게 편한 기술이 있을 리가 없다고 했잖아.
탓하지 마. 기계 고장은 아니야. 제대로 작동하고 있으니까. 안에서 무슨 일이 있는 게 분명해.
혹시 특이점에 문제가 생겼다거나 눈치채고 일부러 기계를 고장낸 거 아니야?
쉽게 고장낼 수 있는 장치가 아니야. 그럴 능력이 있는 놈들도 아니었고.
그야 모르는 일이지. 어쩌면 W사가 특이점의 비밀이 새어나가는 일을 막기 위해 방해 전파를 보내는 것일 수도 있어. 지팡이 사무소 녀석들은 이런 거 하나 조사 안 해뒀던 거야? 미치겠군. 이 여간에 혹해서 이런 엉터리 일이나 하고 있다니.
그만 좀 쫑알거려.
내가 생각했을 때는 이거와 관련 있는 것 같은데. 아주 보란듯이 어금니 사무소 책이 적혀 있어.
Yeah, so the instant that they disappear from the train, like the second they disappear, this group is given an invitation with the Mueller office on it. Because in the second that they disappear, so time is different in the library too. Because it's only a second later that they get the invite, which means we already went through that whole fight, plus 30 hours on the train, and it's done instantaneously. So we could invite every single person on this planet instantaneously by existing outside of time and space in this reality, as the library does. That's kind of crazy. But I think the only reason time even passes is because the library has to wait for specific moments, although it doesn't have to wait. It doesn't have to wait outside of time, because if it exists outside of time, it's seeing all of this all at once. So it's actually sending all of these invitations instantly, which means all of our fights can be happening simultaneously because we exist outside of the time-space continuum. But since we have our own reference of time, whoa, okay. I'm not going to cover like my whole theory on how the library works, even though now I just sort of discovered it has its own reference of time, which means that it has its own relativity as far as space-time goes. But we can talk about that if people want to know. You just ask me in the comments and I'll talk about it in the next episode. But I'm going to keep going because I already know that this episode's going to get super long. I just wanted to see how strong my new books were.
말도 안 돼. 사라진 지 1분도 채 안 됐어.
도서관이라면
그래, 알고 있어. 해결사든 조직이든 만나면 도서관 이야기뿐이니까. 이제 어떻게 할 거야? 저 이상한 곳에 우리도 들어가자고?
다른 방법이 없잖아.
이어간이라고 해도 목숨을 걸고 싶지는 않다고. 확실한 것도 아니고.
녀석들의 책을 보면 저 안에서 무슨 일이 났는지 볼 수 있을지도 모르지.
일이 여기서 꼬이지 않았으면 좋겠는데.
역시 특이점에 대해서 알아내려는 사람들이 있네.
Yes, there's big money to be had with singularities.
당연하지. 특이점이 가져다주는 돈이 얼마나 대단한데. 엘사도 특이점의 비밀을 유지하려고 꽤나 공들이지 않았어? 연기전쟁 이후 세워진 친환경 에너지 회사.
The heck is a smoke war? I didn't know that even existed. Wait, hold on. So the smoke war, maybe I did know this existed. There was talk about a war before, and that's why people were all driven into the city, because the rest of everything else got demolished. So everyone was kind of forced all together into like the one spot that was sort of kind of okay. So maybe that's what it's talking about? I don't know if it was ever called a specific name though.
덕분에 그 지긋지긋하고 답답한 연기가 sa라졌다고.
That suffocating smoke. Okay, maybe this isn't the war that I was thinking of. So it seems like this is we were the eco-friendly option for all of the energy. That makes sense because it did talk about there were other energy alternatives that places were using. In fact, there was one, I think it's called the D Corp, which was using Argent energy. They use energy from the pits of hell based on demons and everything else. That's what it said. I'm not making that one up. If you don't remember that corp, I don't know what it was really called. I'm calling it D Corp from now on. But D Corp supposedly had another form of energy. So it was an active area of research for all these different places. They needed a form of energy. That makes sense then why they were so lenient on L Corp and why they decided, okay, if you can produce energy, then we will welcome you into one of the wings. And with that much free energy, basically, then it really opened up all the other corporations to do what they wanted. because all of the people are like, oh, I can breathe again. So corporations aren't all that bad. Wow. That's wild. See, it's all sort of kind of getting stitched together now.
말했잖아. 난 갇힌 채 대본만 읊었다고. 만약에 특이점을 알아내면 바로 뺏기는 거야?
그럴 리가. 저 녀석들도 지들이 쓰는 게 아니라 단서라도 잡아서 다른 날개나 거대 조직에 넘기려는 거겠지. 그 이후로는 특이점의 약점을 빌미로 돈을 뜯어내거나 할 거야.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. They extort money or whatever. That won't work. In a world like this, extortion I don't think works. Not unless you can be really anonymous about it. But then how do you get your money and stuff? Because if you threaten to go public, you just disappear, right? And no one thinks anything of it because that's happening all the time? That feels like a big plot hole to me. I don't know how people... Well, I guess that wouldn't stop people from trying. Maybe they'll think, oh, I mean, I can do it, right?
특이점은 특허가 걸려 있어서 바로 가져다 쓰기에는 위험성이 커. 무엇보다 그 특허는 머리가 관리하고.
결국 다 돈이네.
그나저나 나는 전에 그 워프 열차가 어떻게 됐을지 궁금한데.
손님부터 받는 게 우선이야.
이곳 내부도 관측이 명확하게 이루어지지 않아.
결과는 보여도 과정이 보이지 않는 것은
요즘 유행하는 뒤틀린 거 똑같이 성가셔 죽겠네.
환영합니다, 손님.
어떻게 어금니 사무소의 책을 가지고 있는 거지? 분명 워프 열차에 타고 있었을 텐데 그것도 단 몇 초만.
과연 어떻게 했을까요? 특이점을 파헤치기 위해 많은 노력이 드는 것처럼 도서관의 비밀에도 큰 대가가 따르겠죠?
멍청하게 당연한 걸 물어봤군.
뭐가 어떻게 흘러가는 건지.
특이점과 다를 바 없다면 도서관이나 책도 충분히 그만한 돈이 된다는 거군.
부디 당신의 책을 찾으실 수 있기를.
That's a strong passive for a 1 cost. I need this. Also, they don't have speed, so we're good. They're pretty strong stagger-wise. 65, 29, 2 to 5. Good thing their cards aren't exactly the best. Otherwise, they'd be so strong. So, I guess let's give them a taste of my best team yet. I'm going to use my Keter team, especially with all of our super strong passive cards, because I want to see how good we are. And I'm just going to kick the crap out of them. We really gotta rethink if this job is worth it. I am with Bono on this one. It is not. Certainly, it's trickier to analyze the things here. Watch for the enemy movements. Dalek is the only one who understands that they are in a world of hurt right now. Let's figure this out really quick. I need... lower this page's cost by 1 up to 2 times on use. Wow, that's really good. Binding Arms is really strong. And it eventually becomes a 1-cost card. Yeah, no. Thanks anyway. Add power if they're paralyzed, which we are. That's actually a pretty decent card. And then on clash, so let's not clash with this one. I'll just eat that damage. That's not a lot of damage to eat. So instead, I need to clash with, I guess, Opportunity Spotted. And then if I can somehow win against Binding Arms, that would be great. And then let's worry about bringing down Bono, because their passive is the only one that really matters after the first round. There we go. I knew that was going to hurt a little bit. Dang it, we missed. Dang it, we got hit by that. If we can follow through and stagger them, I'll feel a little bit better. We didn't. So we took a little bit of damage, especially Dia. Holy crap. But otherwise, we're doing okay. I'd like to stagger them if I could, but I really want to bring down Bono first, and then I will worry about the other ones. One at a time, I think. There, we staggered Bono, which means we're going to be doing a crap load of damage. Just keep going! Roll higher, you idiots. Yeah, there we go. I just want to get out of this place. Oh, they broke into pages, though, which means that they died. I cannot... I guess it would be Commandeering. That's the one I want to clash. There we go. I think I'm doing this right now. Let's go. I should be able to avoid all of this damage, and then I should be able to blow through it. Yeah! Now do a lot of damage to Dalek now. At least stagger them. Please stagger them. Dia didn't get staggered, which is good. Now that they're staggered, now I should be able to finish them off. So, Pale Hands on Finn, because they're the ones that are supposed to be clashing now? Or is it Dia that's supposed to be clashing? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. I can go back through and look. I just wanted to test out how good our new cards were, and so far, we're doing pretty well. So this should end their career. They should be done, and then I should be able to... No, I'm not doing enough damage to stagger Alec yet. That's okay. We'll take a little bit of damage here, but then I'm not worried about it. We'll just do it. They can't do enough damage to finish us off. So far, so good. Our new decks and our new cards are actually pretty darn strong. My sight is choppy. Something might be wrong with my camera. Oh god, we took a ton of damage there. Good thing we didn't get staggered, though. You only hit him once. Or wait, no, maybe you hit him twice. You just need to hit one more time, right? And then you'll do the extra damage thing. So let's get some extra damage going. I want both of these to clash. There we go. That's right. Finn's gonna take on all these clashes and win. You'll see. After, I guess, that attack. There we go. Yeah, see, we won. Finn won. Finn won both of those fights. We did the extra hand damage too, I think. And then the fervent beats. Here we go. Now Dia is getting the adrenaline rush that they so deserve. I love that so much. The heart is so powerful. And then even though they're strengthened, they're staggered, so they're about to get the... Oh, 8 and 7. Goodbye, buddy. Oh, that sucks.
L사는 친환경 에너지 생산, W사는 빠르고 확실한 이동 수단. 그렇다면 R사의 특이점은 무엇일 것 같아?
효과적으로 살인 기계를 만들어내는 게 특이점이겠지.
Yeah, that would make sense to me. That's what they're all about, is killing things efficiently.
R사를 이용했던 네가 더 잘 알고 있지 않아?
You know what I think R-Corp's singularity is? I bet you R-Corp's singularity has something to do with communication, like telepathic communication. It would make total sense that a military might would be super strong if it can all be telepathically linked to like the person giving orders. That would be my best guess as how it would work. If it's just pumping out killing machines, anyone can do that. You just take a person and either genetically modify him, give him some sort of a serum to turn him into a super soldier, or give him this awesome armor or like outfit or whatever. That all kind of defeats the whole purpose of it. Unless it's like super soldiers. But then they're not strong enough to deal with abnormalities by themselves, so that feels like that can't be what it is.
여러 번 말하는 것 같지만 난 그런 세세한 일까지는 몰라. 그래도 지켜본 바로는 확실히 많은 수의 토끼와 개개인의 전투력을 생각하면 네 말이 맞는 것 같아.
Okay, so maybe Roland is right. And that's why they have such a large number of rabbits then. Maybe it does affect people? Because it feels like they're actual people, and then you use the singularity on them and maybe it turns them into super soldiers. I don't know. And that could also explain why certain ones turn into rabbits, certain ones reindeer, certain ones rhinos. Because everyone has their own, like, hidden potential. So when you zap them with it, they, like, get a little strong. You're like, oh, that's a rabbit. They get super strong. Oh, you're a rhino. And then they get, like, ultra strong and, like, oh, you're a... What's another? A red dragon. I don't know an R word that would be stronger than a rhino. Regardless, it feels like... I still like my idea that it might be a form of communication, like telepathic link between everyone. Or maybe it removes their inhibitor, so they fight without fear or something.
월등히 강하다고 할 수는 없었지만 안에서 일어나는 일들을 어느 정도 잘 처리해줬으니까.
Yeah, see, they're not exceptionally strong. That's what tells me it's not that.
그럼 그 원리는 무엇일까?
R사의 수뇌보가 아니고서야 어떻게 알겠어. 다들 꽁꽁 감춰두는데. 뒤틀림이든 환상체든 과정은 안 보이고 결과만 있다고 했잖아. 다른 특이점들도 비슷해?
결과만 소비할 뿐 과정은 아무도 모른다는 거네.
그게 속 편하니까. 기술을 이용하는 중 문제가 생기지 않는 이상 궁금해하지 않지. 돈 쓰는 사람들은 돈을 주기만 하면 되니까. 딱히 궁금해할 이유가 없잖아. 엘사도 그러지 않았어?
맞아. 결과만 필요했지. 그 과정에서 얼마나 많은 희생을 치르든 제대로 진행하기만 하면 됐어.
그쪽도 그랬다면 다른 날개들도 별반 다를 게 없지.
Wow, I guess that's true. In the end, L-Corp really was nothing more than just another wing. Well, I guess let's burn some books, and then we'll figure out what we get in the next episode. So thank you so much for watching this one, and remember to take care, and goodbye!